So this short lesson is going to examine the concepts of mean, median, and mode. So let's say I have a group of 4 people and their ages are 24, 26, 28, and 22. And so kind of to summarize what this group looks like age-wise, instead of listing all those numbers, it might be nice to have one number that summarized it all. And that's what these numbers, these concepts sort of attempt to do, is find a center of a set of data. And with average, with mean, which is also known as the average, they're the same word, you add up all the values and divide by the number of values you had. So here, 24 plus 26 plus 28 plus 22, divide by 4. Well, when I add all these together, you can do that on your calculator, it comes out to 100 total, divide by the 4 people we had, and that comes out to an average of 25 years old. And so that's a pretty good approximation of what that group looked like. Okay? However, the only problem with mean and median, well, one of the problems with, just mean. One of the problems with the mean is one really large or really small number could throw off or make the data seem not quite as applicable as it should. So let me show you what I mean. In other words, it could distort it. Let's say there was also a 100-year-old in this group. Okay? Well, we just saw that when we added all of these 4, we got 100 plus our new 100-year-old person gives us a total of 5. And so we get 200 divided by 5, and that comes out to 40. Well, we have a bunch of people around the age of 25, one 100-year-old, and so it shows that our average is 40, and therefore it's kind of distorted to what the group really, the makeup of the group really looks like. So that can be a problem with the average. So a really large or really small number can distort the data. So to get around that, the concept of median is helpful. In the concept of median, what you're looking for is the middle number of a set of data when they're listed from least to greatest. So for instance, I'm going to take this data set and list it from the least to the greatest. So 22, 24, 26, 28, and 100. Now I want to look for the number in the middle. Well, I can do that by crossing off the smallest and the largest, and then the second smallest and second largest until I get to the middle. So smallest, largest, second smallest, second largest, and our median is 26. So you can see 26 is a much better representation than 40 was, and that's why median can be helpful. By the way, if you have 6 numbers, so let me rewrite this. Let's say there was also a 6th person who was 101. What do you do for the middle numbers? Well, still cross off the largest and the smallest, second largest, second smallest. And then you have 2 in the middle this time. And what you do for that is add both of those numbers and divide by 2. And then that comes out to 27. So that's what you would do if you found yourself with 2 numbers in the middle. Lastly, let's look at mode. Mode is the number that occurs the most often. So let's say I had this group right here. The mode would be 22 years old because it's the number that occurs the most often. Now, if there was also a 28-year-old, this would have two modes, and the modes would be 28 and 22. But let's say we had 21 and 27, and therefore all the numbers are different. In that case, there is no mode. Okay. All right, so lastly, let's look at finding a missing value if we're given all the other values and the average. Okay? So the first thing we looked at was, what was the average of 22-year-old, 24-year-old, 26-year-old, and a 28-year-old? Well, we added them all up. Divided by 4. And got our answer of 25 years old. Okay, so notice that if I'm given the number of values and I'm also given the average, that can multiply to give me the sum total of all the values. So if I take this, multiply it by the average, I get the sum. Okay? So, let's say, for instance, that I didn't know the last person was 28 years old, but someone told me that the average was 25. How could I find that value if it were missing, if I didn't know that? Well, I can use the fact that four times the average must give me the sum of all the numbers. So 4 times 25 gets me the sum of all the numbers. So I know that all of these add up to 100. So 22 plus 24 plus 26 plus our missing value equals 100. Well, what I can do is add these together. So 24 and 26 make 50, and then 50 plus 22 is 72, and then 72 plus x. So I'm looking for the number when added to 72 gives me 100. Well, to find that, I could subtract 72 and 100 minus 72 would indeed give me that missing value of 28. So that concludes this short lesson on mean, median, and mode, and finding a missing value within a problem involving the mean.